All right. Welcome to the podcast today. I am so excited because I finally have someone who I've been trying to get on here for a long time. I know her for a while, and she is really powerful for the things she does. I am so excited and so honored. She's into the world.
Well, first, Coach, I am here because of you. So thank you for taking my business to the next level. You helped me rebrand. I'm so excited about our future together. So I just want to start by just saying, Doc.
You're awesome.
You're the man. And your beautiful wife, too. So just want to say thank you for all that you all are doing to help businesses like mine. I've had quite the journey. I am an attorney by education and first career. Started out as a prosecutor here in Veruanda, native Floridian. I've been able to do some amazing things. Prosecuted gang cases, prosecuted sex crimes and child abuse. And that's where I'm most proud of the work. So hard, so dark, so complicated. But the ability to really impact lives in that sex crimes and child abuse. And then, life takes you in these paths. Like, you're like, my dream was I was going to be a federal prosecutor. And I was always talking, always speaking, always doing speaking events, and had one speaking engagement for my sorority, which is Delta Sigma Theta. I had to say it. And just one of the sorors came up to me and said, "You ought to write a book," and called me a diva. And I was, I was like in my late 20s, write a book. But Coach, things started coming to me in terms of the journey and how it could inspire other people and empower other people. And the name of that speech was "Everything Has a Price."
Yes.
And I was telling people that I know you're looking at me as a young attorney, and I know that you're looking at that I'm a prosecutor, but you don't know what I paid to be there. And that's how Everything Has a Price was born. As a company, that was the name of my first book. I've spoken all over the world, and thanks to the military who brought me in to do sex crimes and child abuse prevention and education for the military. And then things just have rolled since then. So I'm 3 books in. There's a 4th book in here. I have spent 20 years in child welfare. I traveled for 5 years just speaking. I left the state attorney's office, had an amazing state attorney, Lawson Lamar. Just thank you for all the opportunities and you're listening and hear this podcast. And he told me, go. He said, ride the wave. And I'm like, but I have this good government job as a prosecutor. I was in a specialized unit of sex crimes and child abuse. Wrote the book, the first book. The book started taking off. And one thing that he told me, and for anyone who's listening and you have a dream or a vision, he said, listen, this job will always be here. Ride the wave. This job will always be here. Ride the wave. And here's what's interesting. The wave has never ended. So I went from the courthouse to traveling all over the world for 5 years. 9/11 happened, things shifted. I went to do work for the Department of Children and Families on a 3-month contract as a former prosecutor.
I didn't know that about you. Okay.
And 3 months has turned into 20 years in child abuse. No, 20 years. But I love what I do. And it was a natural progression, right? It's like, hey, come over here. You're a former prosecutor in sex crimes and child abuse. We need people to help us with our caseloads. So I've been a senior attorney for the Department of Children and Families. I spent almost 6 years as their criminal justice coordinator for the Central Region. That's human trafficking and missing persons. I was their special,
I would tell you something.
Tell me.
I never thought in my life I would be someone that's a prosecutor, someone in that line. I can't believe it. Do you consider yourself law enforcement?
I don't. I consider myself a part of the justice system. We all have very different roles. In my present role, I serve as the Chief Legal Officer for Kids Central. So in Florida, our child welfare system is semi-privatized. And again, just an amazing opportunity where my CEO, Mr. Cooper, picks up the phone knew me, and again, things that people have told me that have stuck with me, had a mentor that said, you never know when you're interviewing for your next job. Somebody's always watching. And so here I am, and would have never seen myself. You talk about what you wouldn't have seen.
How selfish
I
of
would
me.
have never imagined myself in the role of the chief legal officer. I am so blessed and so thankful. And this journey has led to EHAP Inc. life coaching, when people are trying to figure out their next step, right? The speaking all over in terms of, sometimes that's motivational, sometimes it's, speaking on a specific topic like human trafficking, like sex crimes, like child abuse, and the prevention and awareness about it. And sometimes it's just lifting people up as a motivational and empowerment speaker.
Check out to see you. That was amazing, man.
That was fun.
I messed up. See, I was supposed to be there to work, right? And I just left. I was like, yes! I was looking at people like, crazy. I'm like, oh, wait, the camera.
Okay, working. But isn't that the goal, right? Isn't the goal for people to feel what you're saying?
Yeah.
And that's what EHAP Inc. is all about. I don't ever go to a speaking engagement where I'm just walking out. I'm always there early, coach. I always stay late because my whole goal is to connect with the heart of people, that people can feel what I'm saying and relate to it, because there's a part of us that's all connected.
Yep. I love it. I'm telling you, you're something else.
I love it.
So you do a lot of it.
Yes.
And I see you do a lot of it, but you always still find time. Like, I see you do your entertainment too. Go on vacation. How do you balance that out? Because as a professional, that's been very difficult. It's difficult for a lot of people.
So can we be honest?
Yes.
So I'm doing it now because I felt that when I was younger. I have been married and divorced. Now, I was in all the things, coach. So, I'm the president of the Black Bar Association. I'm a member of the Orange County Bar Association. I'm in my sorority. I'm in all of these different organizations. And literally, I'm gone 5 or 6 days a week. You're tired. And so what I realized is that there has to be work-life balance. And who teaches us that, right? Who's modeling that for us? And so, unfortunately, I lost my mom. She was 52. I was only 32. That was the game changer. I had already been divorced, right? Here I am with all these wonderful, you're traveling and you've been a prosecutor and blah, 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 but life is still happening.
Yes.
And my stepfather, as we were making a decision about my mom's life support, started crying. And I'd never seen this man cry. Strong man. And he said there were so many things that we were going to do when she retired. And that, for me, was life-changing. And I said, what I'm not going to do is be out here working and not living. And so I've traveled halfway around the world, both speaking and doing vacation time. I'm like, oh, what? I'm in South Korea. Let me do 2 more days. Oh, wait, I'm flying through Japan. Wait,
It's all the same thing.
I'm back to Japan for vacation. And so I'm very intentional and deliberate. I try to take a vacation every quarter. And that vacation doesn't always have to be, some big trip. That could be a staycation. We have so many beautiful springs and parks here in Central Florida. I mean, oh my gosh, we have 5 cruise ports in Florida.
Yes.
We have beaches all around us, right? And so it's not always big vacations, but my commitment to myself, coach, when my mom died, was 32, was if I only have 20 years to live, what will my life look like?
Oh, I like that.
And I've lived past that, 52 age, thank you, God. But I want to enjoy my life. There is more to life than work and paying bills. There's more. There's friendships. There's relationships.
Much more.
There's positive people. There's doing things that you enjoy. There's relaxation. And we have to be intentional in creating that time.
Like that. And that's one of the things you teach, right, in your coaching.
Yes.
Professionals do that.
Yes.
So I have a lot of questions about your justice career.
Okay.
I love. So right now, what do you do exactly for, if you don't mind?
Well, that's a big question. So as a chief officer, I think the thing I take the most pride in is I do a lot of training for our, staff, employees. Kids Central has over 300 and something employees. I serve in a 5-county area over in Circuit 5. And so I support as a liaison and the bridge, the judiciary, the defense bar, the children legal services attorneys, the attorney ad litem, the guardian ad litem. I see myself as a problem solver, an educator, and a leader. And a leader. That's some of those things like employment law issues, risk management, which I really am enjoying doing. But my whole goal is if I can encourage, model, and empower others to have a spirit of excellence in what they do and how we show up in service and how that impacts the children and the families that we serve, which ultimately impacts communities. That's how I see this work that I've been doing for the last, my entire life, but especially in this role as a chief legal officer.
I love it. I love it. But you also, as a prosecutor, when we're prosecuting, this is such stuff.
Yeah.
Was it hard to do that job, to be the person that, I can tell you're a very humanistic person, and and that's why you're good at what you do, right? You understand that sometimes people are in the place and they're evil now, but something happened again, right? So how do you do that job and stay unbiased?
So I believe it's a calling. If somebody had asked me if this is what I was going to be doing, no, I was going to be an entertainment lawyer, right? My background is in communications and broadcast journalism. So I was going to be on television. I was going to be the next Oprah, Phil Donahue, whoever when I was growing up, that's what I was going to do. But what I can tell you is I'm a woman of faith. And so what I've had to realize over 30-something years of doing this work is that there is a power that is higher than me, that is always in control. My job is to show up, be fair, seek justice as much as I know justice to be. Treat people with respect. I put people in prison for that, right? And when I say their actions put them in prison for life, but I prevailed in the criminal courts. And people always say, has there ever been a case that you didn't sleep well over? And I say yes, in terms of the preparation and wanting to serve the survivor or the victim of those crimes well, but also understanding, Coach, you know what? The person that's being convicted has a mother and a father. Yeah. The person who's being prosecuted has a sister and a brother, maybe a spouse, maybe children. And so for me, people would ask me, well, how many cases did you win? And I would always say, there's no winning or losing in these courtrooms because these are people's lives. But justice being served is a different way to see it. You made some choices that harmed other people. Right. There are consequences for that in our society. And so I believe in the rule of law. And again, when I was a younger prosecutor, I was just on the grind all the time. So I don't think I gave myself a lot of time to feel about situations. I can tell you that there have been times that I've cried with my victims. There are times that I've left court with a heavy heart for the defendant's parents or family, right? As I watch them cry, because I do feel. Sure. And I think one of the things that I'm proud about is this is my community, right? I live and work in this community, and I would see a mother of someone that I, prevailed in a courtroom against, and they would come up to me and they would say, Ms. Jackson, thank you for treating our family with respect. And that comes again from somebody else modeling that. Judge Reggie Whitehead was my first judge. And he always said, everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Everybody. So everybody was Mr. or Mrs. Everybody. It was not, calling people names. And I think, you use the word evil. I definitely believe there's a lot of evilness in the world. The way that I characterize it now in the child welfare system is that people are not well. Yes. People are not well. And if I can just continue to look at you, if you have a substance abuse problem, a mental health problem, knowing you're not well knowing that the whole reason that we're involved in your life is to try to help you, right? Keeping children safe first, but trying to keep families together second, then I have a different level of compassion for you. Because all of us have not been well at some point. I do tell the truth. The struggle is real. Life is hard. People don't just wake up easy.
No, and I got to that point where I had to make that decision, but it was because of good people that came into my life. That's what I was like, not evil, but to crime.
Dark.
Yes, it becomes okay to do it, like because of what you've been through.
Yes.
But good people have come in, so I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're people too.
They're people too.
But they do have to pay for it.
Yes. And people's hearts get hard when you're looking for support or help, when you grow up in homes that are dysfunctional, when you are trying to make it. I mean, I look at our economy right now, people are working 2 and 3 jobs just to pay bills, right? This next generation of young adults are not going to be like me that can graduate from college and, get a house, right? I mean, and even then it was a struggle, right? But I can do that with 1 job, and that's not the case for this next generation. And so we're seeing a lot of despair. We're seeing a lot of anger. We're seeing a lot of rage, right? And so what does that produce? Darkness. And depending on the level of that darkness, turns to evil if we don't bring it back, right? If we can't get people once they've gone past a certain stage of that. And you know that from the work that your counseling center does, right?
Yes. But you know what I like about the youth? That I don't know why, they kind of know they have to do something about it.
Yes.
A lot of clients that the counselors see, it's the youth. And they bring their parents. He's getting some counseling.
Yeah.
He made my life a living hell.
Yeah.
That's right. So you're right. So okay. So speaking.
Okay.
Let's talk about your speaking, because you've done it. Like, you've done it big time. You know what I mean? A lot of people are trying to get in the industry. What would you tell a person that wants to become a speaker? What should they start? What should they start doing?
So I think you're already a speaker. I think if you connect with people using words, you're already a speaker. One of the things that happened for me was it was very organic, right? So where are you speaking already? Right? And then not being afraid to speak for free. Everybody wants to make the money out of it, right? And I've always said, I don't ever want money to be the reason that I'm not able to bless someone. Because I believe whenever I go to a speaking engagement, I'm being sent to speak to someone. I never know who that's going to be. I don't know how that's going to impact their lives. So my advice would be, what are the things that you're doing locally for free? Start out reasonably. And my company has been all word of mouth. I mean, I resisted even the thought of a business coach or.
Yeah, I remember when we first
met. I was like, listen, take a because I don't want to get to the place where it's all about money. I want to be relevant, right? I want to speak to people. I want people to be attracted to the product that I bring to the table. But I think now you've got to be on social media, as you've taught me. You've got to be involved. There's so many resources online now, so many different groups, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, what have you. And I think investing in a business coach
it helps.
Really helps. When I came with you, I was looking for rebranding. I had a website and I had a great webmaster for many years who retired. But what you have taught me about technology, the project management side of this has been a game changer.
Yeah, you're flying on it. You're doing so good.
Listen, that's what a good coach does. I was like, but, and especially if you have multiple streams of income. So if you're going to be speaking and doing, what you do for a career or profession, you're going to have organization. People now expect immediate responses, your contracts, the logistics, all of those things can be overwhelming. And I think that's why a lot of small businesses fail. And so being able to figure out what's out there, a lot of what you introduced me to, I didn't even know was out there. And I was resistant and too. I was like, how does this work? you know.
I love it.
But it also goes back to your question about how I have work-life balance, because you've helped me leverage technology for project management. I can be anywhere.
Oh, I like that.
I can be anywhere in the world. Somebody is inquiring about a speaking engagement. Boom.
Wow.
Respond to them.
Yeah.
Send them the contracts. Everything is done electronically now. Payment systems, invoicing, reminders. You've helped me automate. And so I would say first, speaking locally for where you are, and then you've got a brand and be professional as a brand. You know, as a brand, your brand has got to speak to people. And then I just don't know how in 2025 and beyond, you can't have technology working for you.
Yes, it's all there. All the tools are there.
Yes.
Like, it
Yes.
makes life easier. Human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
Oh, do you have numbers on that? Like, what's the current numbers?
Oh gosh, I don't have the current numbers, but what I can tell you is that, you know, we live in the state of Florida, and Florida ranks between third and fourth in the nation at any given time. Texas, California, New York, and Florida. And so, but think about it, right? We have beaches, we have warm weather, we have tourism, we have huge sporting events. I mean, a couple of years ago, we had 2 Super Bowls in our state back to back, right? So buyers coming in and out, this is a great place where people aren't necessarily staying here, right? People are coming here and they have expendable income, right? So, but I also think that we're doing such a great job of getting the awareness out.
Yes, I think so too.
And when we talk about human trafficking, Coach, a lot of times people think about it only as sex crimes, right? Sex trafficking. They think about kids, but it's not just kids, it's adults as well. And we have labor trafficking as well. So labor trafficking, when we're looking at some of the migrant workers, right?
Oh.
We have a lot of people don't know this about Florida, but we still have lots of agriculture here, right? So we have blueberry farms and strawberry farms. We have foliage factories. You know, Marion County is the equestrian capital of the world with the horses and the ranches and the farms.
I love how you talk. You're the way you talk is so clear.
The hotel industry, the hospitality industry, right? We have people who are being recruited to come here for these jobs in hospitality. And then when they get here, now it's indentured servitude, right? So I'm not going to give you your passport. I'm going to keep it. You got to pay for water. You got to pay for where you're living. Oh, absolutely.
What?
Absolutely. And many times you can't even tell because so many companies have gone into contracting. So you might be in a hotel, and I'm not going to, say any names, but a chain hotel. And I tell people, pay attention, right? The workforce has really changed, right? A lot of the people that you see working can't speak English, right? And so is there this recruiter behind them who's basically subcontracted them out and is exploiting and taking all of their money? So labor trafficking is just as real as the sex trafficking.
And that's what before we started, I asked that.
Yes.
That is disgusting that that's still what happens in like a modern society. And you said buyers.
Yes.
So that's what buyers do come here? And
Yes. Yes. And so in Polk County, the sheriff there does a great job with stings. And then he publicizes them.
I watch it.
Yes. Listen, I love the work that he's doing. And he takes the pictures and he exposes them. And if you've never watched one of those Polk County Sheriff's Office, you can go to their Facebook page and you could just scroll through and see. But I mean, they recently got a guy, he was a law enforcement officer down here for a conference, had a wife and children. Right? I mean, grandfathers and husbands. There was another person in one of their stings down here for his wife's brother's funeral.
I think I saw that.
And he got busted in the sting, right? So what it teaches us is there's no particular type of trafficker. There's no generic type of buyer.
Sounds horrible.
Yes. Yes. I mean, and we live in a society where now everything is just so sexualized.
Everything.
And so even how people are seeing it, like it's just an exchange, but it's not, right? It's not just an exchange. And so even in our work of trying to educate young people, and I'm sure you see it in your practice and your work as well, your counselors see it, young men and young women, like what is a healthy relationship?
Yeah, and they're trying to find out. We haven't left them that answer, which is weird, right?
What is love, right? And so there's just so many vulnerabilities in terms of how our society has developed, wanting to be liked. A lot of the sex trafficking, they grew by just saying you're beautiful, send me pictures, right? The extortion is real. You're beautiful, take off this and do that and do this for me. And they're doing it because
that's what we've taught them, how you get on the line.
That's right.
So the one thing, like when you were coming here today, I was thinking about that part of it, the human trafficking. And as somebody like American, not only American, like I'm used to the system.
Mm-hmm.
I always envisioned like that happening in the desert somewhere but now like you said, Florida's teaching a lot. It's not like that. It can happen anywhere.
And most of it, especially in the child welfare system, we have so many parents and caregivers who are hardworking. Because guess what? Their kids are at home, kids are going to school, and they have no idea that they've been involved with sex trafficking. Because everybody has this image that these are things that happen overseas. These are things that happen in other countries. But that's because we have to continue to do a better job of awareness, right? Coach, we have so many boys that are being trafficked. Nobody talks about them. And even when I was a sex crimes prosecutor, I kept saying, we spend a lot of time talking about female victims. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about male victims and how it impacts them. I think, of course, we're doing a much better job of that now, right? Lots of entertainers, athletes have come out, adult men have come out and talked about their experiences, because I don't call them stories, right? It's not a story I'm making up. These are people's experiences, right? Lived experiences. Video games. All of the video games now, people are talking to each other.
Yes.
I had Atari with Pac-Man. Cartoons that you put in.
You played that in this one.
But now parents, you are allowing people in your home through these phones and these games and these computers, which you would never do in your right mind. Right? And so we're trying to do more education on parental controls,
That's how these people work.
That's right.
They use these.
That's right. I had one parent and a tablet showed up for her kid from Amazon on her doorstep. Ma'am, you didn't think that was weird?
She didn't get with the tablet,
She gave the child the tablet. But then she asked a couple of questions. The kid said some story. But I'm like,
what? Wait,
right?
So the tablet, mom won't know where it came from.
Right. Kid makes up the story, and mom allows the kid to have the tablet. And it was a boy, right? And so this is how they were trafficking. Right.
They didn't even have to work for it.
No.
So it's changed. It's no longer the sleeping juice and
No.
you give them.
Right.
We're giving it to them.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So how do you feel that you have a part in stopping that? Do you ever sit down and go, how many kids did I stop from going?
So I'm blessed because a lot of my kids are now adults. I've been in this system for a long time, and they are still in touch with me.
Oh.
So I have the unique blessing of my kids telling me what I've meant to them. I'm humbled. I'm honored that I've been able to be a part of sometimes slow but impactful change in their lives. There's not a magic wand, so it's about being persistent, staying consistent in their lives. But I'm humbled and I'm honored that I have been called to do this work.
Man, it's amazing.
It's hard. It is difficult. There have been days that I am just like, I can go sell lemonade on an island. It's like, oh, this is crazy. right? But whenever I have that season or day or week, like the universe sends a reminder of the importance that each one of us can make every single day when we show up on purpose. So I just keep showing up one day at a time on purpose.
I love it. So this question, I'm really interested.
Okay.
Everything you do a lot of things, but everything you do has to do with serving or has to do with helping. You're obviously, you're talented, you're smart, you know how to get things done, you've had mentors, you have all the keys that you've developed for yourself. So you can have done anything, right? But why serve? It's usually not the highest paying gigs, right? So
it's not. Public service definitely isn't the highest paying gig. You know, I started out at the state attorney's office. I was 24 years old.
yeah.
And I've just been surrounded by great people who had great hearts and modeled for me the importance of service. And you know what? I may not be physically rich, but I tell people this all the time. And there are people who are like, oh my God, that sounds so morbid. If God called me home tomorrow, I have lived an amazing life. I have so much pride in how I have lived my life and what I've been able to do in my community and around the world, just by being me and sharing my story and my experiences, that it's been worth it. I am fulfilled. Fulfilled. My life, I'm content.
Yes.
I'm content.
And all serve.
And who gets to wake up every day? And I think if people look at it this way, who gets to wake up every day not knowing how you are going to be able to positively impact someone's life? That to me is a great honor. And I choose that every day. I choose it every day.
I would be walking, I think I would write, I would get a t-shirt that says, this is what I do. I say, take kids from day one. Don't talk to me. It's, I don't know, it's like a hero type of situation that you got going on. And you carry it well. You make your heart up about what you do, and which is surprising because you have so much going on. You can easily not.
But I work with great people, right? And I think that's important. You know, I think about the paralegals that I've had, the legal assistants, you know, and child welfare, our child protective investigators, the case managers, the people that are on the front line and in these homes. You know, I'm in a courtroom for the most part. I mean, have I gone in the homes and those kinds of things? Yes. But there's so many hardworking people. And in my prayers of gratitude every day, I give thanks for the child professionals, you know, welfare professionals, you know, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, our mental health professionals, our healers and helpers, you know, the doctors and the nurses. It takes a lot of good people channeling their energy to helping other people for this world not to implode.
Yes! It wouldn't work any other way, the way things are. So you love the world, huh?
Yes, I love litigation. I love being in a courtroom.
So you sat there and asked the question and
yes.
trick people into saying things. No, I'm just playing.
Lori, Coach, I didn't think that would come in.
I love it. If I could have done it all, I would have loved to be part. Because it's such a cool thing we do. It's like negotiating. It's all, it's business. It's so many things on.
Yes.
So policing, you're somebody coaching.
Okay.
So talk about coaching. So what are you teach people how to balance?
Yes. So coaching started out, I was doing something called the Girlfriend Soul Trip. So an annual trip before COVID. And we would cap it at like 20 women, and we would go different places. So sometimes in the U.S., like Sedona, Arizona, we've been to Paris. And the whole part of this trip, Coach, was professional women taking time out for themselves. It goes back to where we started, right? Work-life balance. And so, you know, for these women, there were always kind of these like, I want to, but I don't have enough money, or nobody will go with me, or I don't know how to plan this trip, or I'm afraid to go by myself, right? And so these soul trips were about not just like this women's conference, but really enjoying yourself. What do you like to do? So yeah, we're going to spend a little bit of time together, but we're going to explore. We're going to do different.
I saw the pictures.
That's right. That's right. Like, we're going to go through on a train trip, like through the desert in Sedona. So what I realized is that people can speak into your life, and this is one of the things I want to say to your audience. Sometimes people are saying things like, you'd be really good at, or have you ever thought about? And so people were like, girl, you're like a life coach. And I'm like, life coach? Right? And so then I started looking into it, and then somebody else would say, you should get certified to be a life coach. And so I did that. And my focus and area is really on work-life balance and resiliency. Encouraging people who have been through divorces, breakups, people who are changing their careers, people are trying to figure out relationships in terms of how do you have time for them? Or, and I'm going to say this out loud. I have made some bad choices. I have been in relationships that I knew probably weren't going to work out. But I've allowed myself to settle, even though I have a whole book called You Don't Have to Settle.
Yes.
Right? You don't have to settle. It's on Amazon Kindle. But, some of the choices that we make that are self-sabotaging, and I think what I've realized through the coaching that I've done over the past couple of years, because as you know, I just started doing the life coaching during COVID. Many times it's because we're talking to the wrong people about our challenges. And so we're talking to our families, we're talking to our friends, and instead of them being supportive and action oriented, they get stuck on the merry-go-round of woe is me, or negative talking about the situation or the person. When what we need, which is really what life coaching is about, is what's the plan, right? What's the next step that you can take to make your dreams a reality? And so my whole thing is reevaluating your life, right? What's not working the way I want it to work? Reimagining your life. What do you want it to look like? And then maybe we go to work on recreating your life.
I was like, that's
Let's be creative. We're not going to stay back here. We're going to move forward.
And I think you don't have to be like, just like you're doing it for the right reasons. You have a career.
I have a career.
You don't have to do it at all. It's not like you're trying to find the game. No, you're doing it because you can help people.
Yes.
And why? You're doing it.
Yes.
You do groups too, right?
We do small groups. We keep it at about 6 because I want everybody to be engaged. Our current small group, amazing group of women, we're seeing amazing results. And some of this stuff is so simple, right? Like, we have one lady who was like, I just need to declutter my home, right? And then that really became a reflection of self-care, right? And in the beginning, and I love this, she was like, I have to. And I was like, do you really have to? Or are you choosing to?
Sure.
And every time you're saying you have to do something, that's not true.
Yeah, and it becomes negative.
Right.
Yeah.
But you choose to. So what different choice are you willing to make?
More control.
Right. So, I have great clients. I'm so blessed. A lot of their feedback is about that they feel my energy, my support. I'm texting them in between sessions too, right? Like, what are you doing for self-care this week, right?
Yeah,
accountability, right? Did you do A, B, C, D?
Yes.
And so a lot of times that's the coaching part, is that positive person to walk alongside you. Mm-hmm. Just like if you're in the gym of life, come on, 2 more, you can do it,
Yep.
And it's results oriented.
Man, you're doing your thing. Yeah, I see the people you're serving love what you're doing, and it's amazing. That you're doing it, and I see how it works with you. Now, if somebody wants to gain that successful career, what do you think you have done? What has been the most important part that has helped you be successful in your career?
I think having positive people
I
in
listened to it, and I was like, I had to ask that you soon. Yeah.
listen to what people are saying.
Yes.
I was looking at some of my evaluations from the state attorney's office, just because I'm shredding and going paperless on some things. And there were a couple evaluations where my supervisors would say, "You're a great litigator, but you need to work on this." Don't take what people are telling you can improve on as a criticism. Look at that and see, what can I do to keep growing? And I think that what has worked for me is I have been scared to death, but I have taken the leap of faith anyways. And it has always paid off one way or the other, even if it didn't feel like it in the moment.
Yeah.
And so don't be paralyzed by fear. There's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I think you need to be listening to podcasts like this. Coach, every week I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm reading a book. I'm doing something to feed my spirit and to continue to grow and to learn. And so if there's something you want to do, I mean, look at technology now. There's a podcast or a book for everything. There's a YouTube video for everything.
Everything.
And so I think if you're going to be successful, you've got to be able to do the research and find positive venues that speak into your dream and your goals.
I love it. It's vital around the people around you, because you always say, which is, it's pretty cool. You always say it. You always talk about you always mention names and like, how did you get surrounded by? How can you find these people? Not them exactly, but people that are supportive in that way. I'm asking for me. I need for a friend. I'm asking for a friend.
So I'm intentional in my circle.
Mm-hmm.
If you are negative, if you are talking about other people, if everything is woe is you, you're not my tribe.
Yeah.
I always want to be around people who have more experience than me, know more. People are talking about this younger generation, but they are so creative, and I'm learning so much from them too. So you can't have these blinders on, like, I can only learn from a person who's 45 or 50 years older than me, right? Like, where you can take nuggets from all different kinds of people. Associations, conferences. I find that a lot of people who are investing their money and attending conferences, they're hungry.
So that works.
They're hungry, yes.
Okay.
So I've been able to meet good people through conferences and associations. Even on places like Facebook, and I learned this during COVID. Facebook has all kinds of groups. You like the plant? They got
everything.
Right, like women who like the plant. You trying to lose weight? They got the women that want to lose weight. I'm over 50.
People wear sunglasses every day.
It's like, women over 50 losing weight. I'm like, what? Let me get clit, right? Like,
not wearing 5 rings and 2 chains.
Yes, like, and a lot of those types of groups, there are moderators and people who will kick out people who are not positive. I mean, there's traveling groups, solo traveling groups, like, who knew? So a lot of the traveling that I've done has been by myself. And people talk about, being afraid to do that. But you know what? You need time to yourself too. You need time to reflect, time to journal, time to do what you want to do, eat what you want to eat, when you want to. Like, who's teaching us that, Coach?
That's the problem.
That's the problem. That's why I'm here. That's the problem.
We need someone.
Right?
I didn't get taught that. I got taught work hard, just keep going, and there's a lot of pitfalls to that.
Yes, and even in your relationship, I love you and your wife. Your wife was just here. She was helping us set up, and she's just beautiful. But, you encourage her, and I've heard you talk to me about her encouraging you. Like, we don't have to be at the hip all the time. Like, you do your thing, baby. I'm going to support you. I'm doing my thing, and she supports you. And then there's also that time where you all are just,
don't talk to me.
Listen, no.
We don't get offended about it. Like, she can tell me, and I can tell you.
Yes, I need me time. Yeah.
And she taught me that.
Oh, good.
Because where I came from, that wasn't Yeah, it was all unhealthy relationship. That's the only thing I learned. To talk to someone was always unhealthy. And I didn't know how to do it because she told me. I saw her with her brothers and her sisters. The way when we would meet someone, she talks to them differently. She taught me how to do it. And
I would have never guessed that because you're an amazing communicator.
and that was really difficult for me. It still is, to be honest with you. I don't have like a lot of people around. So yeah, it still is. Communication is very difficult for me. It takes a lot of time. So
Wow.
yeah,
I would have never guessed that.
and I feel like I call you guys no ones. Normal people. But it's the way I grew up. I didn't have any stable people around. And now I do, so it's gotten better. And so I love what you're saying. Yeah, it's all right. So do I have to become a woman in order to go on the soul trip? You might see the pictures.
So the soul trip is for women at this time. I'm not opposed in the future to just doing soul trips. Yeah. So the title of it now is the Girlfriend Soul Trip. I'm not opposed in the future to just opening it up. But I will say that the core of my work initially was with professional women. Yeah. That's who was seeking me out. That's who was talking about, and I hear more and more men now. I mean, I have a coworker who's married, and he just said, hey, I had a conversation with my wife that I just want to take a 3-day weekend for me. I don't want to go out with my boys. I don't want, like, men weren't talking like that 10 years ago. But he was like, I had the conversation. I know his wife. And so she actually then ended up doing a male spa day for him for his birthday by himself, right? Because what do we think? Oh, you know what? I got to do a party with 15 people or 20 people, or I got to have the family. Sometimes the best gift you can give someone, including a man, is a day to himself.
That sounds good.
Okay, if you're listening, wifey.
I'm gonna make a flyer next. I'm gonna put the clues.
Wifey.
And so I love that you said that because that's something men are coming now into the light of. There's more than just being a mean a protector and all of that.
A provider.
There's more. There's more than that. So thank you. Okay, so what's next for you? Shout out all of your books, first of all.
So the first one was Everything Has a Price.
Love that. I love that. It taught me. I'm sorry, but it did teach me something.
Oh, did it?
Yes. I never thought. I always knew everything has a price. But I didn't think about it in that way. And now everything I do, I think about the price.
It does. And we need to think about that in terms of who we're hanging around, how we're spending our time. I was in a situation today where someone was asking for time, and they were spiraling in their anxiety. And I just said, no, I'm not available for that today. It's that day. Like, I'm not willing to pay by the price. I'm not. So everything has a price. If you have the strength to survive, you have the power to succeed.
Oh, I'm
right?
that.
So that's the tagline for that. The second book is You Don't Have to Settle. And I wrote that book because I'm out on the road traveling, and people are asking me why I stopped being a lawyer. And they saw it as kind of this bad thing, like I gave up my career as a prosecutor to speak. And so my thing was, what other people were projecting onto me was their limit.
Yes.
So they were like, you're a prosecutor, you're an attorney, like you've arrived. But there was this whole other world out there for me, right? So you don't have to settle. And the subtitle is How to Make Your Dreams a Reality, right? And then the third book came out of people asking me to write a book for teenagers. They were using my first 2 books for teenagers, which I never wrote the books for.
You didn't even think
I didn't even think that. But parents were like, read this book, everything has a price. And you don't have to settle, and so the kids. And so I had a youth program, mentorship called Behind the Scenes. And so Behind the Scenes is the third book. And it's a youth guide to making their vision a reality, and really like a workbook. And there's 77 different people with all kinds of professions and journeys and really talking to young people about finding out what is their path, right? It talks about financial literacy for young people. Everybody wants to be famous, right? And now these kids, right? Money grows on trees. I know my parents used to say that, but literally now kids have phones and kids are getting their nails and hair done. And I need parents and caregivers to explain to these kids, do you know how many hours I have to work to get your nails done, your hair done, your hair cut, these Jordans that you want, this game that you want? Are we having those conversations with our kids? And even in terms of their career, like being a reality television person is not a career.
At all.
But our kids are buying into this stage of life.
Yes. And they're trying to get there, and it's
Right.
all right. So, and where are they going?
So all of these books are on Amazon Kindle. And, you can just Veraunda Jackson, or you can put the names of the books in. And of course, the website that you have designed takes you right there. So very easy to get them. Most people now are reading on Kindles, et cetera. So made the decision at one point. They were in bookstores, they were in print, but made the business decision. Most people now are doing it.
That's a great decision.
Yes.
And to speak, like if someone needs to hire a speaker for the next event,
Yes.
what can they expect? What is your wheelhouse?
Energy, connection with people.
Yes, I was there.
Empowerment.
Yes.
Truth, right? In terms of practical engagement. I'm not getting up there with all of these stats and a PowerPoint and 100 slides that you read. We not coach. I'm like, hey, we come here with right?
Yes.
And so practical engagement with your audience. And affordable, right? I have really prided myself on remaining an affordable, impactful speaker. So, I mean, I'm down to earth, all this. I see people, and they're like, they need a limo, they need a green room. No.
I need a blue candy.
No.
Just give me that stage. Let's get going.
No.
Yes. So that's
If you want real life solutions to real life problems, you want to empower your audience. They've been struggling. You need to re-energize your workforce. Those are the kinds of things that I do when people are hiring me.
Yes, and I've been there. I can attest. I'm telling you.
I did all right.
Well, right, it's not even clean. I was smoking into it. I'm telling you. I'm like, I worked there. I'm part of the team. Like,
You're a part of it.
What's Carlos? It was really good. I loved it. I loved it. And like, it felt truth.
Always true.
It's different. Like, you could tell you went up there to make an impact.
Authentic, energetic, engaging. Those, my company's mission is an affordable speaker with a priceless message. I am always bringing my authentic self to connect with that audience. And they're not cookie cutter presentations.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm giving you 110%.
Yeah, I felt it. It was there. All right. What you want to add? Before we go, I forgot to add. And
I just want to encourage people, you and I were just together as you were talking about, and with the life coaching, just stop blaming other people. If you're not where you want to be, stop, reevaluate what is working, what is not working, reimagine what you want your life to be like, and then go to work recreating it.
that's right.
And it's okay to ask for help. So if that's a life coach, a business coach, if that is associations or Facebook groups, find your tribe. Life is so short and so precious. And I'm telling you, you can be happy and you can be fulfilled and you can walk in balance. And I'm so thankful, and I think that's what I want to end with. I'm so thankful for you as a part of our tribe, your encouragement, the mutual blessings. Find people who have energy where they're okay with giving
That's right.
and not always taking. it's okay to say no. It's okay to say this is not in alignment with who I am or where I want to be. And if there's anything that I can do to support anyone that's listening today on your journey, I have this amazing website
Go to it.
that Coach has rebranded that is so friendly to use. And when people, it's so funny because people are like, am I talking to you? Yes. If you send the message.
Yeah, it goes like, son, you make sure.
Yeah. There's no, I was like, no. And so, just thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
You are amazing. You've taken me to the next level. And I'm just excited about what our future holds.
I love it.
In terms of you being my coach and me supporting you in your business and all that you've done for EHAP Inc.
Oh, thank you. I didn't expect that, but thank you so much. But it's easy with you. It's very easy with you. You're very inspiring, powerful, definitely powerful. When you walk in the room, oh, she's here. But yes, powerful. And I love what you're doing. You're doing it for all the right reasons, which is awesome. So thank you for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure.
And anytime you want to sit down and speak again, just let me know.
No worries. And so the website is www.ehapinc.com. Easy way to remember it. It's everything has a price. That's what the EHAP stands for.
I'm slow sometimes. I don't know why. I see it now.
If you Google EHAP, it's going to come up. Where everything has a price, it's going to come up. So we're just here in service, and that's what you're doing for businesses like mine, and I'm so thankful. Thank you.
And I'm gonna put your website on everywhere.
Okay.
Because it's kind of that's up there. So yeah.
He's like, this is my work. We in the house. Coach Albert's in the house.
Yeah, but can you change something on my website? You mean my website?
Okay, no. Our website. Just do what you want to do, Coach. It's good.
And the groups, they find the groups there too.
Yes, and registration there. We put it all there. Everything. Look, you leveled me up. Like if you want to do it's there. And Coach, here's the other thing that I didn't mention. Individual soul trips, right? You can meet me at the beach.
Oh.
I have a location, off of Sarasota, Lido Beach. And so people can do one-on-one and they can do a weekend with me at the beach. Yes, soul trips at the beach. Yeah, and that's male or female. And it's life coaching over a weekend. Intensive life coaching over a weekend. And we go to the beach and we walk and talk. We shop, we eat, we do whatever. I built it around that person and what they enjoy.
Nice.
At the beach, yes.
You said Lido Beach?
Lido Beach, which is right off of Sarasota. So 2.5 hours from Orlando.
Dude, that's a good idea. I'm excited. That's a really, really good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So please contact her. I'm telling you, we'll not regret it. All right. Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Repeat after me. I